crazy. If I don't give a fuck if a motherfucker calls me crazy sitting here. If be crazy, do you think it is me? And I said, thank you this. So immediately, 9 seconds in the recording, yo U.S. Supreme Court judge is stupid. From Marquita's perspective. Fuck you. Now let's hear Cash Patel's. If we gotta say out of this. He must be thinking she's doing it for a reason. If we crazy, so I said that under this. Then I said that under my. Then I said that. Said that. And it continues for you too, nigga. I just don't watch you in your house, Cash Patel. If we crazy, do that, and I will be the one to expose that shit. Fuck you. That's not it. That's it. Bye, cuídense. Se said that is we crazy. Do you think we dumb?
Closer. Mippa. Aspa. Funny. What? Joyam Tenova. Vanilla? Juju. Zinxa, Kiranoi.
Do you think I'm dumb? Se said that it is. Did I?
Torky. Yamu. Lima. Yani. Yamu. Torky. Oh. Dope. Oh, what? Yevany. Rasa. Vivid Calipha. Turinga. Oh.
Do you know who this is? Said, there it is. There, said that in her mouth. I'm gonna expose this woman as a facade. Yeah, she's not. The first damn alien. It's be crazy. Do you say it?
Bonzoid. Mersha.
So you gonna have a reason to be mad. Fuck you. Might be already past her whole ammo is sex, voodoo, messing with buttholes. If I'm crazy, and I'm pretty sure she is the one talking on your list. I said there it is.
Harshko Smiba, huh?
That trip to California.
returned. Do you think it is Ernest? And Ernest, why am I talking? No, he's not there. We were the ones that's keeping the United States looking as itself. Ah, yeah.
You have a question about freedom of contract. You're going to see a scenario when it's going to ask you, under the principles of freedom of contract, what's going to be allowed. And you remember with freedom of contract, the courts will support the rights of any people to enter into contracts as crazy as, or as good, or as horrible as they may seem, and not interfere with those contracts as long as they're valid contracts, as long as they have all the basic elements of contracts. Other than that, they don't really care. They won't get involved. That's what freedom of contract is about. This question, you're going to want to remember the difference between a bilateral and unilateral contract. If you see a scenario that addresses one or the other of these, is it a promise in exchange for a promise, or is it a promise in exchange for some kind of performance?
So this video is the only class I'm taking in the summer that requires exams to be recorded. Now, I can't control these motherfuckers from talking from my lips. So I record because I have to take the exam with a respondent's browser. If we crazy, do you know what this is? I said there it is. There I said there I'm not Ketanji Brown Jackson. Now, I already was like, something going on with the SBA job and a whole bunch of small businesses receiving loans and required to submit a document that is only to be signed in the future. If we crazy. And then a strong emphasis on two terms, owner and manager or member. Fuck you. Do you, if we are like we do you think we dumb? So I'm going to put my phone up here so that it can capture what is external of what this professor is talking about.
The minor, only the minor may avoid or make void the contract, can disaffirm.
Now, I'm not doing shit to be interrupting Joe Biden, little secret company mixture of scam. I'm not doing any of that shit. All I'm doing is sitting in my motherfucking house, minding my fucking business. Beyonce wants to expose Joe Biden. Where is it? I said there. Oh my Lord. I said, if I'm not gonna answer if it's me. I'm not dumb. And I know she got help from some females in the politician time frame that Joe Biden was in office.
Primarily
Primarily Kim Kardashian, when she was attending the damn White House for whatever the fuck is going on to have an ex-porn store inside of the motherfucking White House. If we crazy, do you think we dumb? I answer. Do not think that
what makes a fact material
to have an ex-porn
I
star
made mention of this
going
multiple times.
back and forth
Multiple times.
to
It is a basic assumption in the agreement, and it can change the value of the contract significantly. Say basic assumption, it is either one of the reasons that the party agreed to enter into the contract, or at least a reason that without it, the party wouldn't have entered into the contract. But just remember this basic
so
definition of
is
materiality.
who-
What is
yeah.
material?
Now,
What makes a fact
Kamala
material?
Harris
When you find out
and
this question.
Joe Biden were the only two acting
Now, in
president
talking about
and our vice president.
misrepresentation, whether
Fuck
it is a
you.
misrepresentation
Now
or
she
fraud,
knows to play
we're
ignorant. That is
looking at
Beyonce. So
affirmative,
at 1946,
affirmative actions,
and I said that
statements
that
about
slow ass
goods that
Texan
Congress
accent.
has
If
wrapped the contract.
I'm retired, I'm by. Where is it?
Representations
I'm on your
that
list. I
actually
said there it
make
is. If I'm not
It's
done. I'm
not
just
something
honest.
said,
Might
but
be
actually
why
something
Kamala
that's
Harris
concealed.
wanted
Paul said
her
that too can be
public
a
speaking during them
misrepresentation
time
and
years.
fraud.
Fuck you.
If one party takes an affirmative action to conceal the truth from the other party, that is just as much a misrepresentation as actually saying something that's untrue. So if you see a scenario where a party is concealing a material fact, that you'd know is a misrepresentation. Under the statute of frauds, we say a contract must be in writing in order to be enforceable. We looked at multiple types of contracts that would fall under the statute of frauds and need to be in
Why
writing.
did you say it?
One of these was
Just sit there
what we
and
call 1 year.
Do you think
A
we
con-
done?
A
So I
contract that by its
just
own terms
and Remy
says
Ma
that the
wants to know
contract
why
cannot
I
be
did
completed in under a year. And so just a little bit more deeply. A contract that the terms say it's got stated dates in it or a given length of time that automatically extends over a year, that is one that cannot be completed within a year, and therefore it has to be in writing to be enforceable. It doesn't matter if a contract looks like it's something that would be hard to finish within a year. Can be highly unlikely, as I say here, that a contract could be completed within a year. But if it is still possible, it does not fall under this 1 year rule. It would not be subject to the statute of frauds. It doesn't have to be in writing. So in this case, you're going to see some different options, and find the one that in the terms itself, it says it's going to extend.
So he says you're fighting. He knows that the audio won't pick up in the recording.
Express words.
Sure, sir.
Really, any time that you as the consumer get
That's
some
so
kind of promise or
So something going on with Cash Patel want to know what I'm writing. I'm just sharing this.
in any way about the product from the seller, that is an express warranty created whenever a seller makes promises regarding the goods or representations, as long as it's representations of fact about the goods. Remember, puffery does not count here. But as long as there were representations from the seller about these goods, those are things that can hold up as promises by the seller, or if these
Do
express
you
warranties-
just say that's how they can tell the difference between Katanji or Cash Patel? That don't mean Katanji.
Warranty of fitness for a particular purpose. What does it take for this to be created?
No, remember, it is your purpose.
Uh,
That's not her like
This
that.
is when somebody says, I have a
No, they like we are wealthy. This can't happen to us.
this particular
See, yes.
salesperson says, here, try this. And
Ain't
if
nothing
it
about
doesn't
Remy
actually live up to
deserving
that,
of wealthiness.
that
Fuck
would
you.
be a breach of this implied warranty.
So let me go over here where she's sniffing
So
my
to
nose.
create
I'm
this
sniffing
place, the seller
the inside liner and hair follicles
wants to use
of
the product
a person's nose.
in a way that might not be the ordinary way that you would use it. First of all, we have to be able to prove that the seller knows that. It's easiest if, you just have evidence that the buyer said to the seller, this is what I need it for. And in fact, the buyer did rely on the seller's expertise and advice, their recommendation, and purchased the product. In that case, if the thing does not work in the way that they desired it to, and that they told the seller about, then that would be a breach of this implied warranty of fitness for a particular purpose. Hopefully that gives you enough insight. Really, if you just know the stuff in here, I believe you should be able to do well on this exam. Remember, these are word problems, so you need to make sure that you read through well enough to know that you understand what the question is actually asking. But if you can do that and you've studied this review video, I think you should do pretty well. Thanks and good luck. Next chapter, performance. What was rescission? A rescission is the undoing of the contract when both parties mute. In this question, you're going to want to remember the difference between a bilateral. How does the law treat advertisements? Next, talking about voidability, we really looked at contracts being voidable if capacity is the element that is missing. So a contract that is voidable due to the lack of capacity of one of the parties can only, can only be disaffirmed by that party. Now, in talking about misrepresentation, whether it's innocent misrepresentation or fraud, we were looking. Talk about being discharged. From performance under a contract if it became impossible for the parties to fulfill the contract. We're gonna just go over what frustration of purpose was. That is when the party's primary purpose in forming the contract becomes frustrated, at least substantially frustrated. Importantly, there's these other pieces that you want to watch out for. It's their primary purpose in creating the contract in the first place is substantially frustrated by exterior events, and neither of the parties to the contract is at fault in the reason why it's substantially frustrated. Also, that whatever it was that was the central assumption of both parties, the non-occurrence of the event that ultimately occurred. Remember, we're talking about remedies in law. The primary remedy is compensatory damages. That's actually receiving the benefit of the bargain. It is getting specific performance type of equitable remedy where the court says, remember this duty to mitigate. This one's quite simple. Just remember, this requires the innocent party. In the event of the breach, by the breach of. Remember, in these cases, we have mixed contracts. Remember, in these cases, we have mixed contracts. Might in a single contract be dealing in goods and services. The courts will apply the predominant purpose test and simply say, what is the predominant purpose? This we said in the UCC, contracts can have some open terms, quantity generally not one of them, at least as a specified term. But we said there's two times when the UCC does allow contracts that don't have a specified. In consideration under the UCC, the only talks about battle of the forms, this idea that the remember the seller's right to cure. In the event of imperfect tender, non-conforming goods, the seller does have the right to try to repair or replace whatever was non-conforming, whatever was rejected. That is to say, they have a right to cure, as long as, in most cases, as long as the period for performance is not yet expired. Finally, cite sales warranties. Express warranties. Really, any time that you, as the consumer, get some kind of promise or some type of representation, any description in any way about the product from the seller, that is an express warranty. created whenever a seller makes promises regarding the goods or representations, as long as it's representations of fact about the goods. Remember, puffery does not count here. But as long as there were representations from the seller about these goods, those are things that you can hold up as promises by the seller, or if these express warranties are breached, you can sue for breach. Finally, fitness, the implied
I think I'm ready.